Hey guys, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited about this because this is a project that we thought about doing and then kind of had to do with COVID-19. So very, very pleased with what we were able to do in 2 days, nonetheless, and for less than $100. We made a whole wall, and actually so we have a den that's attached to our master bedroom. We basically detached that and made it into an office so my husband could work from home. So love projects. We're not experts, but when I tell you we tackled this with grace and finesse, I'm not exaggerating. So first thing that we did, we removed the baseboards in the entryway between the den and our bedroom. So we had to remove it so that way we could put the studs in place, so that way they were flush up against the wall. Our existing wall is already to the ceiling, so this is basically just filling in that gap between the den and the bedroom, as I stated before. And so we had our stud pieces pre-cut at Lowe's based on the dimensions of the entry. And so altogether we had 5 pieces, 2 for the top and bottom, 2 for the sides, and 1 for the middle. Now we were told, since this would not be a weight-bearing wall, that we did not have to worry about making our studs 16 on center like most of the ones that you'll see online. And also I want to note as well that a lot of people, I'm noticing, frame their walls beforehand on the ground, so they'll put their studs together in place as if, in the same way that it would be standing up. They do it on the ground first and then they screw them together. We didn't do that because I found that when we were trying to test out the pieces that we got, as I was putting them in place inside the entryway, some of them were quite snug. We found out, not the hard way, but we did find out that the top is definitely smaller than the bottom part of our entry. And so we ended up having to cut a little more off of the top piece that we were going to use. And so we just didn't want to get into any issues by pre-framing our wall on the ground. So what we did was do the bottom and the middle part. We did go ahead and pre-screw them together. That worked out fine. But we were also told, since we were not trying to screw the bottom stud into place, that we could use construction glue. And I was gung-ho about it. I was so excited. I was the main one pushing for it because I'm just like, I do not want to put screws and holes into the tile floors just in case we change our minds, or if this comes down, or because we move, or we decide we want to take it down for whatever reason. I just did not want to screw into the tiles. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So we put the glue down, and as you can see in the pictures, we have jugs there over top of the studs, just to help it to stay in place and stay in where it's supposed to. But then the middle stud actually helped with that. And the glue was just not worth it. It wasn't meant to be there. So it was a waste of time and money, but it was a lesson learned. So once we actually put the other pieces in place, so the 2 on the sides and the 1 on the top, everything stayed. It didn't wiggle, it didn't move. So there was no need for the glue on the bottom. We screwed everything into the walls. I had a lot of fun with the drill, and so did my daughter. We cut the drywall to fit the dimensions of the entryway. So the way the drywall comes, it's bigger than our entry. So when we cut it down, we made sure to cut it to where that middle stud was. So one part could go into that middle stud and one to the a stud to the right, and then we cut another smaller piece of drywall to fill in the gap on the left side. After we did that, then we went to our bedroom side and we did the same thing, but this time we cut the drywall horizontally instead of vertically, and it actually worked out a little easier. I can't say that it looks prettier when you do it that way, but it was nice and easier for us to hold up and set in place when we were screwing it in. So you get what you get. But after you set your drywall up, then you have to mud it. And if you're not familiar with mudding, all it is the joint compound that you use in order to fill in the gap between the current wall and any kind of cracks or crevices that are open when you're putting the drywall up. So you mud all around the seams and all over the nails. And the suggestion is to sand that area down so that way it's smooth and it blends in with the current wall that's there. We didn't do that because we were told also that you could use a sponge, and that way you didn't have to worry about the sand and everything, or not the sand, but from sanding the dust and any kind of airing out of the house, you would not have to worry about if you just used a wet sponge to smooth down the sides as the drywall was drying. So we went that route, and especially with COVID, we just didn't want to have to open and air out and do all of that anyway. So in doing that, it was easier. I can't say that it's completely blended in because, like I said, we are not experts. And when we did it, we did the best we could. But it does look like my wall has bandages. Oh, and that's another thing. So when you're mudding, you need to use a tape underneath as well. So the tape is just another part of the joint compound part that you put into the wall, and it helps to be set in place as far as covering those areas. So we did tape it down as well, and smoothed it out. After that, we added the texture because our wall has texture. It's not just a flat, smooth wall. So we used the texturizer spray can from one of the big box stores and just went to town. And it definitely did look like the same pattern. And after that dried, we painted it and everything was good to go. Voila, it was nice. We were, satisfied with what we got. And I'm just happy that we were able to do it without any kind of huge errors, any issues, and it serves its purpose. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did. And if you do, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.